All right, hello everyone, and peace of the Lord to all of you. Please invite your friends.
Of the world.
And this is another issue. Here, he proved to us that Muhammad is a fraud, and he thinks that we have one time in the whole earth. So Allah come down every third part of the night. And if the Muslim they say no, this is not what it meant. That means Allah, he come down and up and down like a yo-yo. Because how many times do we have? How many third part of the night we have? Every 100, 200, 300 kilometers, we will have a new time zone. Even without time zone, because if you move just a few miles away, the time changing, but maybe little, but still changing. So Allah come down every third part of the night, and they asking the question, well, if Allah come down every third part of the night, how that work? We have many time zone. What is the answer? The question is not legitimate. Stupid question.
Does Allah descend to the lowest heaven multiple times? Because time varies in different parts of the world. Mu'izz, your question is quite disturbing.
Your question is quite disturbing, brother. Brother, your question is disturbing. Good, you are not there, he will kill you. The question is disturbing. Why? Because you decide to use your brain. I mean, how Allah come down every third part of the night? Do we have one third part of the night? What is the answer? Your question is disturbing. That's it. He silenced the guy, he solved the problem. What do you want more?
Your question is quite disturbing. The reason is that you are comparing Allah Azza wa Jal to us humans. The hadith is authentic without any doubt. Allah Azza wa Jal descends to the lower heaven when the last third of the night is due. And Allah says, is there anyone seeking forgiveness so I would forgive him? Is there anyone asking me so that I would give him? Is there anyone supplicating to me so that I would answer him? This is authentic. There's no doubt in that. But the problem is that you're comparing Allah's descent to ours.
Hmm.
And this is unacceptable.
Unacceptable. So why Allah he used the word descent if his descent is not a descent like us? You see, this is the same potato. He says Allah have hands. And he said, well, Allah, he said he have hands. That means he have hands. Now they will say to you, but we cannot compare the hands of Allah. Like, you know, I mean, Allah, nothing like Allah. Like, what does it have to do with anything? Nothing like Allah. But you know what? Every human being, nothing like him. According to science, not a single human being is the same as other human. They have different DNA. They have different, even twins, they have different fingerprint. Look, they are twins. They are really twins, yet they have two different fingerprints. They have different fingerprints in their skin. They have different fingerprints in their eyes. They have different size of the brain. Even they are twin. According to science, every flake of snow have nothing like it. It's not the same. Like any other flake of snow. Even if you bring billions of flakes of snow, still each one of them is different. So they keep holding this saying, Allah, nothing like him. But they know nothing about Allah. They knew nothing about Allah. And the second you ask a question, the Muslims, they will say to you, this is disturbing. So now, the one who heard this, he will, oh man, what I did. Oh boy, Allah will be angry from me. This is disturbing. Did you see his eyes? This is disturbing question. Like, don't use your brain, you stupid idiot. You are the problem, you are comparing the way we descend, the way Allah descend. Who care how Allah descend? We want to know, is it true? He said yes, Allah descend. Would that mean he go inside his space, the space he created supposedly? So in the previous video, he refused to answer about Allah is inside the space. Now you are agreeing without saying the word. Continue.
Allah says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There is nothing like him. And he is the most hearing and seeing. He is the all hearing and
Look, they say hearing, but the second he said to him, how Allah he hear? He said, this question is not acceptable, disturbing. Allah is all seeing. How he seeing? Allah is disturbing. They know nothing about him. And we can prove from the Quran that Allah cannot hear. Actually, this hadith he is quoting about Allah, proving Allah is not all hearing. Because why he come down every night? So he can ask people who is praying for me. Why he come down? For a very simple reason. He asks people who is praying for me. So if Allah is all hearing, why he need to come down to listen who is praying to me if he can hear him from there? Do you understand what I'm saying? He just said Allah is all hearing. But the title of the video is about what? This is about hadith. Allah come down every third part of the night and he say, who is praying for me? So I can answer him. So if Allah is all hearing, he do not need to go down. I mean, this is troubling. And how Allah is capable of anything. And now in order to hear you, he have to get closer. Allah have to come down for a very simple reason. So he can hear you. Can Allah hear you from the seventh heaven? The hadith which he called a very authentic prove the opposite. Allah cannot hear you.
seeing. Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Subhanahu wa
So
ta'ala.
now, if you look at Allah's attributes, you would acknowledge that Allah is all hearing, all seeing, powerful, knowledgeable, merciful, He's the provider, He is the giver of death and life. Now, when we look at one of His attributes, or any of His attributes, does anyone on earth believe that Allah's attributes are like ours? Allah stated in the Quran, nothing is unlike to Him.
This is a statement in the Old Testament, nothing like God. But when the Old Testament they mention that, they are not talking about a look and stupid things like you Muslims. Nothing like God is about ethic, about dignity, about pure, about no sin. Otherwise, what nothing like God? Your God have a hand, your God have a foot, your God have 5 fingers, your God have eyes, your God is so nothing like God cannot be about those things. Nothing like God because God is not a sinner. Nothing like God because God is all powerful. I am not. But your God cannot have a son, as the Quran says, without having a girlfriend. Can Allah have a son without a girlfriend? The Quran say no. And who is the one who say that? Is that like the Jews, the Hindus, the Buddhists? No. Allah himself, he says, how can he, speaking of himself, he call himself he, have a son if you don't have a girlfriend? And yet they say to you, Allah is all powerful. But the guy cannot have a son without having a female. The God of Mary, he can have a son without having a wife, without sex. Mary, her God can make her have a son without having a spouse. So Allah in the Quran chapter 6, imagine guys, this is in the chapter of the animals. Which chapter? This is why the Quran chapters names, they don't make sense. The topic is messed up. This is the chapter of An'am. An'am mean animals. And what is the chapter of An'am speaking of? About Allah don't have a wife. And therefore he cannot have a son. And look, it says, how can he Who is the one using the word how can? But we just heard this guy. We cannot question Allah. The same we question ourselves. We cannot understand Allah by using our logic. You cannot understand how Allah come down because you think about how we come down, how we descend. You cannot question how Allah hear because you think we are hearing the same way. But Allah himself is saying he's the same as us. He says, how can he have a son when he don't have a girlfriend? And there's no companion. It says actually girlfriend, sahiba. So Allah himself, he questioned his ability. Why this sheikh, he don't say to Allah, shame on you, are you stupid or what? This is disturbing statement. You, Allah, asking Allah, how can Allah have a son without having a girlfriend? Are you with me? This sheikh, he should shame Allah himself. Because if we cannot ask Allah how he can hear, how he can descend, how he can be above the throne, is he inside the space or not? If those questions are forbidden, well, this is a question made by Allah. How can he have a son without having a girlfriend? A Muslim will say to you, well, Allah is saying to you, he don't have a girlfriend. No, 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 listen. He is not saying he don't have a girlfriend. He is saying, how can he have a son if he don't have a girlfriend? Which means he is questioning his ability. If you say to me, this is not what he meant, that means he used the wrong Arabic. That means your God is a Bangladesh guy working in Saudi Arabia and speaking the language of Sadiq. How are you doing, Sadiq? You will see a Muslim coming from Pakistan, coming to Middle East, you know. And that's it. Anyone he see him in the way, he said, Sadiq, how are you doing, Sadiq? Supposed to know he speak Arabic. Sadiq, which means friend. It's like me going to Italy, and anyone I see in the street, I call him Tony. Because 90% of the men in Italy, their name is Tony. Tony, how I can help you? It happened, you know, because everybody there is Tony. So Allah is the same as Mr. Sadiq. Either he is making poo-poo here, and the sentence is awkward, stupid, or Allah, he mean it. So if you say he don't mean it, that means he's stupid. If he used the wrong word comparing himself to us, but you don't want to compare himself, that means stupid. So why he's saying how I can have a son if I don't have a girlfriend? Unless he mean it. So what this come from? Allah cannot have a son unless he have a girlfriend. And how then you say Allah is all-powerful, almighty? Because the Almighty, he do not need a wife. He can have a son as he wish. Isn't it the Muslim, they say, the Quran says, the similarity between Jesus and Adam, Allah, he said to them, be, and he was. And then we find that neither Jesus, neither Adam in the Quran created by saying be. Allah, he breathed into the private part of Mary in the story of Jesus, and Allah, he created the mud by mixing mud and water, dirt and water, and then he made the fashion statues and leave it for 40 years to dry it. Looked like when Allah, he did that, it was the ice age. So it took a lot of time for Adam to dry, 40 years. And then Shaitan, he entered from his nose and he came out from his anus. And then he told the angels, don't worry, he is not the same as Allah, for he is hollow from inside. So Allah is not hollow. Listen to your prophet stories. And then they say to you, you cannot discuss how Allah is made, how Allah look like, how Allah. So Allah is not hollow. Allah have hands. Allah have 5 fingers. Allah have a foot. Allah descend. Allah, he sit on the chair. Allah is heavy. Allah big. Allah is Akbar. And then Allah cannot have a son without a girlfriend. And then they say to you, you cannot question those questions. But Allah, he did. Simply all this drama is because they worship unknown pagan God. They don't even know what Allah means. If you ask any Muslim what Allah means, they will say to you, God. No. God in Arabic is coming from the Aramaic, Rabb. Rabb. And the Quran mentioned many times. We just showed you the story of Abraham. He said, when he saw the sun coming, بازغة, he said, هذا ربي هذا أكبر. هذا ربي, هذا mean this. Rabbi is the word Rabb, which means you add ya at the end, that will make it your Rabb, your Lord. Hada Rabbi. So this is the word God. And the Muslims, they say, there is no God but Allah. So Allah is the name of the God. It's not the word mean God. They are confused about everything. They do not know what lah mean. They do not know where it's coming from. They do not know anything about this God. Muhammad, he never even spoke to his God. He never saw his God. He never even, heard one word from him. Yet we find in the Quran that Allah, he spoke to Isa. Allah, he spoke to supposedly the father of Maryam, which is very funny, Amran. He spoke to Zechariah. He spoke to the devil. He spoke to Adam. He spoke to Moses. He spoke to everybody. But Allah don't want to speak to the greatest between mankind. So he spoke even to the ant. Allah spoke to everybody. Allah spoke even to the bees. أوحى إلى النحل. Allah, he inspired the bees. So Allah even spoke to the bees, but he don't want to speak to Muhammad. Why? Because Muhammad is not a bee. He's a cockroach, maybe. So now, how we can ask those questions? You cannot ask those questions. Those are disturbing. And the answer is not there.
Nothing is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or similar to Allah Azza wa Jal. So we all know this. Let's look at the attribute of hearing. As a human being, we hear and we listen. If there are 4 people talking in front of me and they're speaking the same language and they're addressing me with their problems, would I be able to comprehend all of them at the same time? Definitely not. At best, I may pick few words here or there from 2 of them and be able to figure out their problems. But all 4? Impossible. Is Allah's hearing like us? So can someone come and ask like you, Mu'izz, and says, how? I'm a bit confused. When we know that there are 7 billion inhabitants of the human being,
Hey, Abdul. So if Allah hearing not like us, are you saying Allah hearing is better than our hearing? He can hear many people at the same time. But still he have to come down to the earth or to the heaven, to the lowest heaven to hear us? He cannot hear us above the 7th heaven. And you said this hadith is authentic. So why the mighty God, he disturb himself and he have to travel far away distance just to hear us, if he can hear us from there? So either we have to accept that Allah hearing is limited, Allah reception is limited, my God, the Messiah, do not need to come every 3rd part of the night. And what is the point of this 3rd part of the night? Only at that time he will come down. Maybe the whole day is traveling. Yeah. So my Lord, he says, every 2 of you mention my name, I will be between them, which means he will be the 3rd. He do not need to come down. He do not know to 3rd part of the night, 2nd part of any time. Every 2 of you mention my name, I will be between them.
human race on earth at the moment. And they speak in thousands of languages and dialects.
So why Allah require you to pray to him in Arabic? You see, he's talking about you speak in thousands of languages, but when you pray to Allah, you have to pray in Arabic. Isn't it weird? You are an Asian person, maybe from Indonesia. You live in Saudi Arabia. How you pray to Allah in Arabic? Why a person who live in Indonesia, he have to pray to Allah in Arabic if there is 7 billions and an endless number of languages? Why he cannot listen to all of them in their languages? The Christians, they pray to their God in any language. The Muslims, they are not allowed to pray to their God unless they are praying in Arabic, because simply the Arab are enslaving you. Do your God understand languages? The obvious. He's not.
And they speak at the same time. And Allah hears each and every one of them and records all what they say.
What does have to do even with the question? The question is how Allah descend every day. Now we are talking about hearing. Guys, the question is, how does Allah, look at the title, look at this. I mean, look at the madness of the Muhammadan. This is the question. Now he's talking about Allah, how he hear. How does Allah descend to the lowest heaven in the third part of the night? What is the topic now? Become about how Allah have a good hearing. But if Allah have a good hearing, He will not go down anyway.
Allah Azza wa Jal even knows what goes into in their minds.
Yeah, this is exactly because this is why the Quran is messed up. Isn't it the Quran in the chapter of Al-Kafirun? Allah said to Muhammad, tell them, I will believe not in what you believe, and you will never believe in what I believe. So I will not believe in what you believe, and you will never do to believe what I believe, because I will not believe in what I believe. So I don't believe you anybody believe, and you believe everybody believe. I have my religion, you have mine, you have yours. So if Allah, He knew what is in the mind, how come all of those later they became Muslims? He just told us 1,000 times, you will not believe in what I believe, and I will not believe in what you believe, and you will never believe in what I believe, and you will never believe. So they will believe in what I believe. Zakir Naik, are you there? Good friends. First of all, Allah is said you will not believe in what I believe, and Allah said the truth. But Zakir Naik, all of them they convert to Islam later. Good friends. First of all, not all of them. As an example, the neighbor of the Prophet Muhammad, he have a cat, he could convert to Islam. He have a cat, she did not convert to Islam. You know, because simply when he died, he was eating pork. This is how you know she is not a Muslim cat. Is that the same cat that did not work in the Quran, or the cousin? Good friends. First of all, the cat doesn't work in the Quran because the cat they understand that the word of Allah. Yeah, Muhammad, I walk in the Quran. So how come the good friends? Let's in the Quran that you are stupid. I mean, who can beat those people their logic? Continue, Potato.
Without them speaking it. Not only that, Allah hears and knows what animals in their billions talk about.
I mean, look at this. Allah, He know what is inside the animal's bellies. Abdul, you take your animal to any vet, he will find out for you in $5. Only Allah, He knew that. How we know that Allah is not using machines to? By the way, is there a proof that Allah, He knew? What is the proof? In fact, Allah obviously don't know, because Muhammad, he said in the hadith, what he learned from Allah, that the one who have orgasm first, the baby will look like him, boy or a girl, and same look too. So how Allah, He knew? I mean, look, just to show you how stupid this religion is. Only Allah knew what is inside the belly. But now I know without even having anything in the belly yet, because the one who have orgasm first, the boy will look like him, will be a male or female. So I am Allah now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Any human being, based on this, he knew what is inside the belly, because just remember, who have orgasm first? Go have sex with your wife. If you are ugly like me, don't have orgasm first. 9 months after, don't sleep with her no more. You know exactly that your wife, or as soon you notice that she have a belly coming out, so she is carrying a baby. So now, okay, now you know that you have a girl, she looked like her mom. Because the one who have orgasm first is the one who decide the gender of the baby and how he look like. So we do not need Allah. Same for the dog. We bring 2 dogs, male and female, unless you're in Thailand. And then the dog, the male dog have orgasm first. So now we will know that all the babies in the dog, by the way, Muhammadan, we can solve this problem. So if they have orgasm first, if the male have orgasm first, how you explain to me that the dog have like a bunch of puppies and there is many gender between them? I thought that's it. The one have orgasm first, he is in charge of the gender. I mean, don't ask Muhammad, don't ask questions. You will get dizzy. This is how stupid this man is. Muhammad, he is a smart person as long you are a donkey. If you are not, you don't see how stupid he is. You see a mule because you are a donkey. So now, until now, where is the answer?
What birds, what fish,
What fish?
what insects, what...
This is the guy who said to us that lizard is kind of insect. Do you remember?
Any living creature on earth is saying or doing or thinking of. Are you a bit confused?
So Abdul, as long Allah, he knew what we are thinking, so he was not thinking that you Muslim will be confused, so he could not make it clearer. I mean, as long he knew what we are thinking, as long Allah, he knew the future, brother. Don't he knew that the Muslims will be confused by what he say? Look, he knew what you're thinking. So why he did not provide the answer and why he make it confusing? So now you are telling me that your God Allah, he knew what we are thinking, and yet he insists to be stupid and confuse the Muslims? That is a smart teacher. Hey, listen, I know what you're thinking, but so can you make it more clear? Because what we're thinking is confusing. Exactly. Listen, Prince. First of all, Allah decided to make it confusing. What's your problem? Listen. I don't think Allah decided to make it confusing, because we just heard the Sheikh saying, Allah, he knew what you are thinking. Listen, Prince. First of all, Allah, he made you think the way you're thinking. What the heck? So Allah made me think the way I'm thinking. And now I'm thinking being confused. So Allah made me think to be confused. And that exactly because Allah is powerful. Christian Prince. First of all, Allah is all-knowing. And he knew that you would be confused. In fact, he made you confused because he liked to see you confused. And look at you, you look funny. You are very confused now. Yeah, Abdul, but they are talking about Muslims, not me. I'm a Christian Prince. I'm laughing at Allah. But the one who's confused is the Muslim calling the Sheikh. Don't you notice? Christian Prince. First of all, respect yourself. Those are not Muslims. Those are Hindu from India. Look, what the heck? The Hindu from India, her name is Fatima? And Hassan and Hussein and Muhammad? Exactly. In fact, I know the real name of that guru. What? You know the real name of Sadhguru? What his name? Muhammad. What? Sadhguru, first of all, he is not a Hindu. And he is undercover agent for Allah. What the heck? He is like a FBI and Allah sent him? Exactly. Listen, Zakir, I want to finish this program. Can you give me a break? Christian Prince, I can't give you any break. Abdul, don't take it literally. Christian Prince, I know that you are meaning hypothetically. What? I mean what? Metaphorically. Okay, metaphorically. Can you give me a break so I can finish? Christian Prince, first of all, I know that you don't mean it metaphorically. A second ago, you said I mean it metaphorically. So now what do you want? Let me finish the program. Somebody take him away from here. Christian Prince, I'm not leaving, Christian Prince. Hey, monkey, let us listen to this donkey, and then I will come back to you. Continue.
Definitely not. You said, yeah, okay, this is Allah Azza wa Jal. He is capable of that and more. Okay, why were you not confused? Because you acknowledged that Allah's attribute of hearing is not like ours. Likewise with knowledge. Likewise.
That's it. The problem solved. The one is not confused because he acknowledged that Allah is hearing is not like us. But this is not the question. Anyway, guys, it's time to go. I mean, can you believe it, how stupid this garbage cult is? This is God. If this is God, what is stupidity? If this is God, what is madness? You are confused. The one who is not confused because he don't think about Allah hear the same we are hearing. This is not even the question. The guy, he forgot what the title of the video. And this is exactly what they teach kids in the Middle East. Ask questions about stupid things. That yesterday I was sucking the nipples of my wife and some milk dropped in my mouth. Did she become my sister now, brother? What the heck? Have you ever heard of religion? If somebody drank the milk of a breast of somebody became her son? So the guy is having sex with his wife and he suckled her nipples because he's hungry. Remember, Allah, he ordered breastfeeding for adult. And now she become his mom? In Islam, adoption is forbidden, but they adopt by the nipples. I mean, how adoption is forbidden, but the nipples can make you a baby of the mother? Either adoption is forbidden totally or it's not. So this is the religion of stupidity. If you are stupid, join it. You fit perfectly there. I want to say thank you guys for being here. I'm glad that today we have no issue with the sound. And see you again soon. Maybe I will give you a break from me tomorrow. Do you want break or you want to come back? Give me one if you like me to come back tomorrow. Give me one if you like me to come back tomorrow. Come on, I am an Arab. I believe in democracy. Don't forget not to give us a like. I mean, look how many people watching, and then they don't make a comment. They don't. Yeah, give us a one if you like me to come back. All right. As long all of you want me to come back, I'm not coming. All right. Okay. You know that first of all, we Arab, we do the opposite. You say yes, I say no. Never say yes to an Arab. Are you crazy? Don't you see what happened? Since when we believe in democracy and voting? Cuckoo. You're not listening. Okay. I offended you, sorry. Okay, if you like me not to come tomorrow, give me one. If you like me to not to come tomorrow, give me one. All right, there's many people like me not to come tomorrow. God giving me one. Thank you. See? So now, see, I just counted the number. Allah gave me sharp eyes, and I found out that the number is saying don't come tomorrow, which is one, and the one who's come tomorrow, which is one. But I was able to read your mind because Allah told me what that one mean and what the other one mean. Even though both of them look the same, both of them are one. Remember, we believe in the oneness of Allah. So now each one of you, he gave me Allah in the chat. One. And you see the Muslim giving you a finger. The only religion give a finger to their God is the Muhammadan. So I hope that was not a finger. Hello? So, yeah, we will give you a break maybe tomorrow. We will see. Until we see you soon again, God is good, so is Jesus. And Muhammad is nothing but a fool. Did you hear it, Abdul? Take it from me. Take care. God bless.